At some point, every growing business faces the same decision, and most of them get it wrong in exactly the same way. You start with one product, one service, one brand, and then the business grows. You add something new, a second offer, a new service line, maybe you acquire another business, and suddenly you're standing there asking yourself a question that nobody has prepared you for. Do I put this under the same brand, or do I give it its own identity? That decision right there is one of the most important structural choices a growing business makes. And most founders make it based on a gut feeling rather than a brand strategy, which is how you end up with a brand portfolio that looks like it was assembled by accident, because it actually was. By the end of this video, you are going to know exactly how to make this decision. But first, let me show you what getting it wrong actually looks like. So here's the pattern I see constantly. A business owner has a strong core brand. They add a second product or service that feels, slightly different. So they create a whole new brand for it. A new name, a new logo, new social media accounts, new website. Feels like progress, feels like growth. And then 6 months later, they are running two brands on half the marketing budget each. Neither one is getting the investment that it needs, and neither one is getting the momentum that it deserves. The founder is doing twice as much work for exactly the same result, and the market is confused about what the business actually does. This is not a brand architecture strategy. This is a brand fragmentation and is one of the most common, expensive mistakes a growing business can make. There are two fundamental ways to structure your brands as the business grows, and they sit at completely opposite ends of the spectrum. The first approach is a branded house. It's a master brand across everything. If you think about Apple, iPhone, MacBook, AirPods, Apple Watch, Apple TV, every product carries the same name, the same identity, the same brand equity. The master brand is the asset, and every launch reinforces it, and every customer interaction deepens it. The best thing is your marketing compounds because everything you do is building the same thing. The second approach is a house of brands, and that's each brand standing on its own. The parent company sits in the background or disappears entirely. If you think about Procter & Gamble, they own Pampers, Gillette, Head & Shoulders, Fairy, Ariel. Most people have no idea those brands belong to the same company, and that is entirely the point. Each brand builds its own equity, targets its own audience, and operates completely independently. Two completely different structural approaches, both used by some of the most successful businesses in the world. So here's my controversial opinion, and I'm going to stand behind it. For most growing Australian businesses, especially service businesses, one master brand is almost always the right answer. Not because it's safer, but because it's smarter. Every dollar you spend on marketing builds the same brand. Every piece of content reinforces the same story. Every client interaction deepens the same equity, so it compounds over time. Multiple independent brands does the exact opposite. Multiple strategies, multiple budgets, multiple identities, multiple sets of assets, and none of them ever getting the investment they need to build something really meaningful. But there are genuine situations where separate brands make sense. If your products serve completely different audiences at completely different price points, such as a budget offer and a premium offer under the same brand, it will create tension that is very hard to manage. If you have acquired another business that already has a strong equity of its own, dismantling that can destroy value rather than create it. Or if you're planning to sell parts of the portfolio in the future, independent brands are always cleaner to separate. But notice what those situations have in common. They are all genuine strategic necessity. Not wanting to feel more sophisticated, not having more logos, not lacking confidence in the existing brand, and finding it easier to start fresh than to fix it. And now that last one's important. I see businesses create a new brand because they are not happy with the one they already have. That is not a brand structure strategy. That's kind of avoidance. And a brand will not solve the underlying problem. Here's how I work through this with my clients. 7 questions, just answer them honestly. Number 1, do your products or services share the same target audience? If it's a yes, lean towards a master brand. If no, separate brands give you more flexibility to target different audiences. Number 2, are your products positioned and priced similarly in the market? If it's a yes, one brand handles this very cleanly. If it's a no, separate brands will protect each other's positioning from the other. Number 3, does your existing brand already have strong equity your new products can leverage? If that's a yes, one master brand transfers that trust immediately. If it's a no, a new product may need to build its own credibility independently. Or do you have the budget and team to manage multiple independent brands properly? If that's a yes, separate brands will become viable. If it's a no, the overhead will outweigh the benefit every single time. Number 5, is there a meaningful risk that one part of your portfolio could damage the reputation of all the others? If that's a yes, separate brands contain that risk. If it's a no, the master brand lets everything reinforce each other. Number 6, are you planning to sell or exit parts of the business in the future? If it's a yes, Independent brands are cleaner to separate. If it's a no, one master brand builds cumulative equity that is more powerful as a whole. Number 7, the last one, is your business known primarily for a founder's expertise or personality? If it's a yes, one brand built around that identity is almost always a stronger choice. But if it's a no, look, either approach can work depending on your other answers. So here's what I want you to take from all this. This decision on how to structure your brands is not a naming exercise. It's not a design decision. It's a strategic decision about where you want to concentrate trust, how you want to manage risk, and what kind of business you're building for the long term. And the question is never which approach looks more sophisticated. It is the one that fits your audience, your commercial reality, and where you want to be in 10 years. As I said before, more brands is not a sign of business maturity. More clarity is. So here is the question. How many brands is your business currently running? And are you doing it by design or by accident? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one.